Hello fellow Envoys, and yes, finally, after much anticipation, Soulframe has an official release date in Q4 of 2024. But wait, before we go over any recent dev updates that took place at tennocon recently, I think I should rewind a little for those people in the back and have no idea what I'm blabbing about. So in July 2022, Digital Extremes, a company you might know from an incredibly popular role-playing third-person shooter multiplayer online game called Warframe, they announced that they were working on a sister game, not a replacement game, called Soulframe. Soulframe is a co-op action hybrid MMORPG game. It features a large open world hub very much inspired by fantasy. Like Warframe, it branches into smaller generated dungeons minus a sci-fi futuristic aesthetic. The core and central themes of Soulframe is the adventure and the restoration and conflict between the industry and the nature. And in terms of gameplay, the game will have a much stronger melee focus than Warframe, with the developers focusing on a more slower paced, heavier combat style. DE seems to hate the comparisons with Souls-like games like Elden Ring, but in my opinion, that's exactly what this game looks like. But hey, don't strike me down, it's just what came to mind when looking at the gameplay. But on the flip side, being compared to a Souls-like game is not exactly a bad thing. Games like Elden Ring and Bloodborne are massively successful. So moving on to this week's preview, DE showed off the introductory section of the game's opening story quest, during which we can see the character creation section, then followed by a cutscene of a flying bird in a rainstorm over a sprawling fantasy battle at night, where I assume a army is trying to besiege a castle with catapults and magic. And then amongst the chaos, a narrator recites a tale of a battle, as we follow a bird through the battlefield and later on through the castle window, bringing us to the first look of the character customization phase, which I have dubbed Momcraft. Just hear me out, because it seems like in Soulframe, you will determine your character's appearance by choosing what your parents look like. And we finally have a game you can create your friend's hot mom in. So after creating your mom, which still sounds weird to me, but ultimately the way you decide your mom will look is the way your character will potentially look. But I must add that they did not show the full customization process in the demo. But once you're happy with the way your mom looks, she then chucks you to your handmaid, who runs away from the battle, bringing us to what we have already seen in the previous tennocon previews, which will be the intro quest and the character creation that will give us a taste of the gameplay and combat, in which Soulframe would be a large open world game that consists of generated dungeons like Warframe's missions, layouts and tile sets. And something that I thought is cool is that whenever you are away from enemies, you have the ability to warp into another dimension called the Nightfall. This is your personal hub area, much like the Orbiter in Warframe, and as you progress through the game, you gather a lot of spirits of your ancestors who hang around the Nightfall. They take care of your progressions, equipment and fashion objects. And during the new preview, DE revealed a new ancestor, which goes by the name of Vermina, the Rat Witch. She's an alchemist who will give you the ability to craft elixirs as well as cosmetic items. Oh, and let's not forget, also in the Nightfall, the giant wolf we freed in the start of the game. Yep, pretty much we get to ride him. Very much like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I thought was a good game. So when it comes to the sword swinging and the combat itself, in Soulframe you make use of your pact or your cursed arm, which will be your character's class that replaces the swapping in and out of individual warframes, in which you'd rather be swapping your whole entire arm, which each arm has different sets of core magical abilities that can be seen in this demo. The character is flinging the halberd around and is also able to recall it, kind of like Thor's hammer. So my thoughts and concerns about Soulframe is got to do with two main things. And the first one is, I hope that it doesn't have the repetitive nature that Warframe has. And I've completed the star chart in Warframe and have put many hours behind the game playing with friends and solo. And my main issue and the main reason why I stopped playing Warframe is that I've just got bored. And I know that they add new Warframes and new missions and stories like the upcoming Warframe 1999, but in its core it's just the same thing again and again. So for Soulframe, I do hope that they find a way to make each instant or each dungeon a little bit unique just to keep the game fresh. And my second concern is the sword swinging and the combat. I have seen many complaints on the Reddit with individuals who have played the Prelude, and they complain about the combat animations or just the combat in general. Some of the complaints with the swings are that the swings feel stiff and the hit detection is wonky. And I personally have not played the Prelude much, but let's say through some non-legitimate means allegedly, I've had some time with a very early build, and to me the combat felt okay. Nothing compared to Ghost of Tsushima or Elden Ring, but a little bit like Dark Souls 2 when it first came out on the PS3. Think of that what you will, because gaming mechanics and movement has come a long way since 2014. So that will do it for this video, fellow Envoys. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if you're excited for Soulframe, and if not, let me know why, and I will see you in the next one.